My wife's divorced friends convinced her marriage was slavery and needed to set herself free. She took off her ring and hit on a younger guy. That was all I needed to set myself free. After 8 years of marriage, my wife's friend got divorced, and suddenly my wife had a new weekend hobby: girls' nights out every Friday and Saturday. At first, I encouraged it. We both needed our own space. The first red flag wasn't the nights out. It was what came home with her. She suddenly invested in tight dresses, low-cut tops, and heels that could double as weapons. When I complimented her new style, she'd brush me off with thanks, I guess. Then came the phone obsession. She'd sit across from me at dinner, scrolling with this secret smile I hadn't seen in years. When I'd ask what was so interesting, she'd flip the phone face down and say, nothing important. But the real kicker? She stopped wearing her wedding ring. Her excuse: rings are just symbols of ownership. I'm not property. Property? We'd picked out those rings together, saved up for them, cried when we exchanged them. One Sunday morning, after she'd rolled in at 3 a.m. smelling like cologne that wasn't mine, I finally addressed it. We need to talk about these weekend adventures. I'm supporting my friends through difficult times. Supporting them by staying out until dawn, by coming home reeking of strange cologne. She stood up, transformed into someone I barely recognized. Maybe I feel like a single woman. When was the last time you made me feel alive? I make you feel alive every day by choosing to stay married to this version of you. My friends were right about you, she said with venom. Ah, the divorced, bitter friends who can't stand seeing anyone else happy. That Friday, my buddy Mike and I followed her to Rhythm and Blues. My wife sat with her heartbroken friends, but they were dressed to kill, scanning the room like predators. When a tall guy approached their table, she welcomed it. She took his hand and led him to a corner booth. What I witnessed next destroyed everything. She was kissing him with a passion she hadn't given me in months, her hands in his hair, his arms around her waist. Did you get it all? I asked Mike, who was recording. Video, photos, timestamps, everything. We followed them to his apartment. 2 hours later, she emerged wearing his oversized hoodie, looking satisfied and relaxed. They shared another passionate kiss before she drove home. Sunday evening, I was waiting at the kitchen table with my laptop open. Good night out? Yeah. Deep conversation about boundaries. Interesting. I clicked a key. Come have a seat. When she saw the photos, her and Tyler at the bar, entering his apartment, emerging hours later, her face went completely white. I can explain. I'm sure you can. But first, let me show you the rest. I clicked through everything. Photos, videos, timestamps, location data. The digital breadcrumbs of her double life laid out like a prosecution exhibit. She sank into the chair, hands shaking. It's not what it looks like. Really? Because it looks like you've been living a secret life, lying to my face every weekend. I was confused. My friends made me realize how unhappy I was. I showed her the selfie she'd taken with Tyler. You documented it yourself. You wanted people to know. She tried every excuse, mistakes, confusion, wanting to fix things. Finally, I asked what she'd discovered. I felt more alive with him than I have in years with you. There it was. The truth, finally. Well, good news. You're getting complete freedom from this boring, predictable marriage. But I don't want a divorce. I want to fix this. I laughed, but there was no humor in it. You spent months destroying our relationship. Now that you're facing consequences, suddenly you want to repair it? It doesn't have to end like this. It ended the moment you decided Tyler's apartment was more interesting than our bedroom. I'm just making it official. 3 weeks later, I signed the divorce papers. Thanks to my documentation, there was no question about fault. Her lawyer tried to argue for reconciliation, but photos don't lie. Tyler broke up with her when he discovered she'd been married the whole time. Turns out he thought she was just separated.